Donald Trump's latest Mar-a-Lago shindig has the internet doing double takes, and it's not because of the golden chandeliers or chocolate cake. The president hosted yet another over-the-top extravaganza packed with glitz, champagne, and the timing of the lavish display, while much of the country is tightening its belt, didn't go unnoticed either. But what really caught social media's eye wasn't the opulence. Viewers were particularly amused after noticing the women in attendance all seemed to share an eerily similar look. A perfectly polished aesthetic now being dubbed the Mar-a-Lago face. Palm Beach, Florida, October 31st. U.S. President Donald Trump talks with guests during a Halloween party at his Mar-a-Lago estate on October 31st, 2025, at Palm Beach, Florida. Trump is spending the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach. Florida Trump's party quickly became fodder for online commentary, but instead of discussing the elaborate entertainment, users fixated on what they perceived as a uniform appearance among female guests. The observation has even sparked a wave of jokes about cosmetic procedures and the beauty aesthetics prevalent in Trump's social circle. Commenters pointed out how so many of them seem to have identical frozen smiles, exaggerated cheekbones, overfilled lips, and lifted brows, with one Threads user stating, "The women at Mar-a-Lago, as fake and plastic as Trump's hair, makeup, and personality." Others weighed in, agreeing that the women in the president's orbit must have come off the same plastic surgery assembly line. "These masks are scary." "What? No masks?" One user wrote in disbelief, capturing the sentiment echoing across multiple platforms. The commentary only intensified from there, with social media transforming the glamorous event into a roast session about the uniformity of appearances in Trump's orbit. "They look like the Wayans brothers in White Chicks," one wrote, referencing the comedy film's exaggerated portrayal of a certain beauty standard. Some thought they looked like a popular puppet from the 70s named Madame. The discussion took a darker turn when someone asked why the aesthetic reminded them of some of cinema's biggest horror films, mocking them by comparing what these women surely thought was sexy with something distorted and scary. "Why do they look like they're from The Purge?" one person asked, to which another responded that they thought the women in the movie Saw had a similar appearance. Another said, "Looks a whole lot like Loomer on the right there." Yikes. The comparisons to nightmares underscored how unsettling and comical some found the cosmetic trend. Over the last few months, the animated series South Park has dipped its toe into the conversation by taking on U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. The show portrayed a cartoon version of her with heavy makeup and a melting face resulting from excessive procedures. Interestingly, the phenomenon extends beyond Trump's social gatherings. According to Axios, reports indicate that requests to some of the top plastic surgeons in Washington, D.C. for specific cosmetic procedures have increased since the president took office, with people apparently seeking to emulate a particular appearance. People want to look at the MAGA mommies surrounding him, whether they are in his cabinet or hanging out with him at the party, and want to be like them. "The fact that they think they look good is beyond wild to me," one Threads user wrote, summarizing the disconnect between self-perception and public reaction. The entertainment at Trump's party, complete with burlesque dancers and synchronized swimmers, became almost an afterthought in the discourse, overshadowed entirely by the conversation about facial aesthetics and the apparent cookie-cutter appearance of attendees.